Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about everything financial literacy. And for today, we're going to be talking about Dun Bradstreet and how you actually get a free DUNS number. We're also going to talk about the difference between a paid DUNS number, a free DUNS number. We'll also talk about what a DUNS number is, who Dun Bradstreet actually is, why you should have one, and why it's important for your business. Because not only is it important to know how to actually get this, it's important for us to understand what this is, why we need it, and how to manipulate it, to improve our business. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now on this slide, I included a picture of the Chief Executive Officer at Dun Bradstreet. That's going to be Anthony Jabbour. I believe I pronounced that last name correctly. I always like to put a face with a company. That way, you never know when you might see this person. You might pass them in a coffee shop. You just never know. You may want to speak with them. You just never know. So it's good to put a face with some of these things. So Dun Bradstreet is one of the world's leading suppliers of business information and research. It's a global database that contains commercial data on more than 240 million companies. Dun Bradstreet also hold the largest volume of business credit information in the world. The company mines its data to create software products, web-based applications, and marketing information and purchasing support services for its customers. Operations are split into two main segments: risk management and sales and marketing solutions. Now, for the purpose of business credit, because that's a majority of why we're going to be here, to put this simply, Dun Bradstreet creates a report. Not that much different than a credit report for your personal credit. That's going to measure your credit worthiness as a company, not as an individual, but on a company level. But not just for your company. As you can see, it's going to be for a majority of companies that are basically in not only in the US, but the world. So almost everyone is going to be associated with Dun Bradstreet in some form or fashion. So if you have a favorable DUNS report, it can sometimes make the difference between your business getting funded or not. For example, if you start a new business and apply for certain credit cards, not all of them, but certain ones, you may be denied. And it's going to say something along the lines of, we cannot identify your business, or we can't locate your business. This can happen when you don't have a business report, which can be your Dun Bradstreet credit report, or it could be your Experian business report, or Equifax business. It could be any one of them. And this is even with excellent credit. I remember when I first started this channel, there was someone that I was talking to in the comments about business credit. And he was saying that establishing business credit was essentially a waste of time, simply because if you have good personal credit, you don't need it. While he wasn't wrong, it let me know he didn't understand why a lot of that stuff was important, and that's limited. If you're looking for just business credit cards, you're never looking for anything more than that. If you're not looking for actual real business loans where you get over $500,000 to $1 million in funding to expand a real business that's making money, then yeah, I guess it wouldn't make sense. But if you want to have a business that's actually going to grow in the future, you definitely want to have all of this information. Not only that, but you can get approved for a lot of business credit cards, and you can do that just based solely off of your good personal credit. Because let's be honest, if you don't have good personal credit, it doesn't matter if you have a DUNS report. It's not going to make a difference. You're more than likely be denied, except for with the Sam's Club Business MasterCard. But there are the instances where if you don't have a business profile or a business credit report or a business presence, you can be denied even with excellent credit. And when we're talking about, a lot of YouTubers talk about no docs, including myself, because if you're starting a brand new business, of course, you want to get no documentation, require funding. That's good. Eventually, we have to grow up. We have to have businesses that make money. We have to have actual cash flow, not just funding. We have to actually start making money. When you start making money, you will have a balance and loss sheet. You will be able to have a W-2 for yourself as an employee if you choose to file as an S Corp. I have a video on that if you want to know how to create paycheck stubs for yourself and pay yourself through your business. Eventually, there will come a time where you are going to have to deal with actually having business reports and profit and loss statements. And you'll have to be doing this quarterly and updating this. Okay. There will come a time where, at least if you want to have a successful business, there will come a time all of this will come into play then. So even though it may not seem as significant at this time, eventually it will be important. And again, most companies have associated with Dun & Bradstreet in some way, form, or fashion. I believe for most grants that you receive, you have to have a DUNS number in order to even apply for those as a business. So just keep all that in mind so that we understand exactly, who this is. It's not just a credit bureau for business. These guys are very, very important when it comes to business information in the world. Okay, not just a business credit bureau. They're doing a whole lot more. So let's talk about what a DUNS number actually is. So Dun & Bradstreet, they'll use a data universal numbering system known as DUNS. Okay, you're issued a unique 9-digit identifier that's used to keep track of your business and your business information. Now, you are never required to have a DUNS number to operate a business. You don't need to have one. The number itself, that number contains no data or implies anything about the stability, the credit worthiness, or diversity of a business. However, you may be asked to provide your company's DUNS number when you're applying for loans, when you're applying for credit, when you're applying to become a vendor or a supplier of a company, if you're bidding on contracts, that's locally or internationally. In short, anytime you want to make sure that a potential bank, financial institution, potential partner, supplier, customer gets a complete and more accurate picture about a business, you want to make sure that you have a DUNS number and that it's up to date, because there is a live business identity that Dun & Bradstreet actually is a part of, that most companies have and that you should have too for your business. So this is going to, pretty much continue, but why get a DUNS number? We kind of touched on a few more points, but let's get a little bit more. Again, we know that having a DUNS number is not a requirement for doing business, but it does help legitimize your business in the eyes of banks and potential partners, and is the starting point of building a Dun & Bradstreet live business identity. A company's live business identity is attached to a business's credit file and is used by 90% of Fortune 500 companies. So if you're not a part of this, you definitely want to be a part of it. Again, when we're first starting, all of this stuff may not seem very significant, but I'm always looking at 5, 6, 7 years ahead. So you always want to be looking ahead for the future and where you plan to be. So these are all things that you want to have in place, not just to establish business credit, but to be able to be, as qualified as some of these Fortune 500 companies in the future. Let's talk about who can see your DUNS number. So Dun & Bradstreet hosts business credit files on over 500 million global businesses, not just in the US, but in the world. And because of this, they are relied upon by basically the entire business industry in order to get an idea of how well a company is actually doing. National government agencies will turn to Dun & Bradstreet first when searching for business information. So your DUNS number is one way to access firmographic information about your company down to the branch level or subsidiary level. So to put it in other words, if you worked at an Amazon warehouse, they can get an idea of how that particular place is doing. Like they can get it down to the branch level. That's how big this actual company is and how their data furnishing is when it comes to businesses. Now let's talk about how your DUNS number can actually help your business in particular. So once you have a DUNS number, you can use it as a gateway to help grow your business by seeing your company the way that others do when they have access to your business profile. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this when we talk about business credit. You can actually see other companies and how those companies are viewed, the way they see you. I've always found that the best information that I get is when you can see it from the perspective of the business. When you actually start paying employees, you start looking at productivity different. When you have to start paying taxes, you start looking at that stuff different when it's on that particular level. Now, when you look at a business profile, you'll know why you were denied for business funding based off of that. You can get all of that by looking at Dun Bradstreet's information. And that's why I recommend that you go ahead and take a look at other companies. It's going to give you a general idea of how well they're doing, which will give you an idea of how you're being looked at by other businesses and other financial institutions. So you can get a much clearer picture of what you can do to help make your business a better candidate, like a better profile, a better match, to get approved for things, to just look better on paper. So that's going to be for contracts, for credit, or for partnerships. Again, this goes beyond just a credit bureau. This is trying to actually get you a lot of different revenue streams. They're all sourced by this one particular place, which is why you want to be very, very cognizant of the importance of having a DUNS number and how it can make your business look better overall. This is very important. Now let's go over the requirements. Now, to complete the process to obtain a DUNS number, you will need to provide the following information. You'll need your legal name, the legal name of your business address. You're going to need your phone number, the name of the CEO or business owner, the legal structure, the type of business, whether it's a corporation, a partnership, proprietorship, so on and so forth, the year that your business was established, the primary line of business, and the total number of employees, whether that be full-time or part-time. Now, I have an entire video where I talk about how to structure a business. You'll want to do this before you get your business license. You should already have an idea of how your business is going to be structured before you have your business license. So this is going to be making sure you have a virtual address. If you want to go above and beyond, I have a video on virtual addresses. I talk about the difference between having a virtual office and a virtual mailbox. There's a big difference with that. If you want to check that out, I recommend it. Look at that. But the idea is you want to make sure that you have a virtual address or a business address, a business phone number, a business email, not a Gmail, your own business email. You can easily get one when you create a website. You should have a website. Okay, everyone should have a website. You should have an online presence, and then you should have all of this information before you apply for your DUNS number, so you can make sure all this information is entered in properly and your business looks very, very well established to begin with. Okay, so these pretty much are going to be standard whenever you're doing anything else in the future with your business. Whether you're applying for anything, you'll want to have all the same information, so you'll get used to it. If it does not sound familiar at this time, trust me, you'll get used to it. Everyone's going to ask for this exact same information. Now, here are the steps to apply. They're just outlined here. Step 1, you're going to choose whatever is the best fit for your company. If you have a U.S. business, a business based in Canada, if you're a Apple developer, a government contractor or grantee, if you have a UFI to register, or if you're a Google developer. All right, so it's categorized as such. You would pick the one that's applicable to you. Step 2, you're going to fill out your information. Based on your choice, you may need to provide the following things that we went over. Again, first name, last name, business, your virtual address or your actual business address, your business phone number, the name of everyone that's involved in the business. If it's not a one-person operation, you'll want to list everyone: business owner, president, CEO, your legal structure, LLC, corporation, nonprofit, whatever your structure is, the year that your business was created, the primary business industry, the total number of full-time and part-time employees. Then step 3 is the checkout process. That's where I'm going to actually show you the difference between a free DUNS number and a paid one. Overall, a DUNS number is free regardless, but there are some incentives that you get when you pay. You can determine whether or not that makes sense for you. But during that checkout process, you can choose to expedite your DUNS number, request, as well as, some other features. Again, there is no charge to receive a DUNS number, and normal processing time can take up to 30 business days. If you purchase the expedited one, I believe it's 8 business days. And yes, 8 business days. So on step 4, you may be contacted by a representative of Dun & Bradstreet to validate your information. Once your information has been authenticated, the process is complete. You'll receive your DUNS number and an email from Dun & Bradstreet. All right. That is the steps to apply. Pretty straightforward. All right. So now that we've covered that, let's actually go on to the Dun & Bradstreet website, and we're going to go through the process of applying step by step. Right now, we are on the Dun & Bradstreet website. First thing that you'll want to do is go up to the very top right-hand side where it says DUNS number. You'll want to click on Get a DUNS number. So on this page, we're going to basically see all the steps that were previously outlined, and we're going to scroll down. Now we're going to choose I have a US based business. Now, this is going to be applicable for most of us. If you have another type of business, if it's in Canada, or if you're a developer for Apple or Google, so on and so forth, choose the option that's applicable to you. But for a majority of us, we're going to choose I have a US based business. So on this next screen, you want to enter your business zip code, US only, and then you want to enter your business name. Now, your business name might actually show up on here, but if it doesn't, that's okay. There's an option that you can select that will say, I don't see my business name here, and you'll be able to continue. Once you move on to the next screen, you're going to have 3 different options. Now, credit insight free is the one that we're most likely going to be looking at. There is one that's $229. Again, when you do that, you can expedite the process. You will get your DUNS number in 8 business days or less. Now, credit insights, again, it's still free on here, and you get some additional details that you can see for your company. Now, there is a credit insights basics. That's $499 per year, and that's going to give you your business credit scores and rating, and you can stay up to date on events, and it will integrate your bank account to potentially influence your business credit score. This is something where I feel like you don't need it if you're starting a brand new business. We're not going to need this yet. The one that's $229, if for whatever reason you need your DUNS number fairly quickly, I will go ahead and pick this option. But if you don't mind waiting, I think it takes like for the most part, for me, it's been like 2 weeks that it really takes. I've seen it vary because I've done this a few times. Sometimes it took the whole month. Most of the time it took 2 weeks, and I was able to get my DUNS number. I've seen some much faster. So if you're not in any rush, just get the free option, and let's get started here. When you get to step 3, you have to create an account. Make sure you use your business email, first name and last name. It's going to prompt you to create a password once it sends you an email. So you fill out this information. You're going to get an email that's going to prompt you to create a password. It's going to be a very long password, and I believe you have to have a special character. So please write that down, save it. Worst case, you have to reset your password, but it will be long. So just make sure that you have it written down somewhere, or save it to your phone's password so it'll automatically just log in for you. Now, once this is done, you repeat the same process, and you come here where it says sign in. When you click on the sign in option, this is what you're going to see. All right, let's get you signed in to complete your request. And then you're going to enter your business email and that new password that you just created. All right, now here is the DUNS application. So it says, last step, apply for your Dun & Bradstreet DUNS number. Please provide the following information to apply for your new DUNS number. So you're going to enter your legal business name, the year the business was started, the company address. Again, whether it's your virtual mailbox or your virtual office, you want to enter that here. Your business structure, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or LLC. And then you're going to enter the principal title, which can be CEO, chairman of the board, executive director, managing member, president, whatever your title is, you'll want to enter that. And then you'll enter the principal name, which is your name. And then you'll want to enter your business phone number, your business email, enter your website, and your SIC code. Now, you should know what your SIC code is. When you created your business, they would have asked you to have a SIC code and a NAICS code. That's just going to describe the type of business that you have. If you were in, let's say, clothing, you could enter clothing, men, boys, work clothing, so on and so forth. But you would type in something that describes your business and then select the SIC code that is most applicable to your business, okay? Then you're going to want to upload your business verification documents. Now, remember, that's basically going to be all the documents that you get when you establish your business. You're going to enter that sheet that you get with your EIN number on it. You'll want to enter that. You'll want to enter your business license, your articles of incorporation, basically all the documents that you got when you establish your business. You'll want to enter all that information and upload it. And remember, it was in that list. If you need to refer back to that part of the video, then you can rewind it and look at that list. It's also on the Dun Bradstreet website. Now, once you've uploaded all of your business documents, then you can hit submit application and then you're all done. That is the whole process of acquiring your DUNS number from Dun Bradstreet. And you also have a little bit of an idea of where you go to actually see your Paydex score and that information to know how well your business is doing, at least when you're looking at your DUNS report. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully this answers a lot of the questions about Dun Bradstreet, who they are, what they do, and of course, how to actually acquire that DUNS number. And if you have any questions, there is a 1-800 number. As soon as you go to the Dun Bradstreet website, I suggest calling that number if you have any questions. They will also walk you through this process. So if you want to have someone actually do it for you, their customer service team is really good. They will walk you through that process and do all of this on your behalf if you want the additional help. If not, then you can do this same process through here. But, I like to ask questions. So I've talked to them a few times, like when I've had to change information, I had to call them. And it's always good to, ask a couple of questions or maybe even get some additional services to understand why they might benefit you. So if that would interest you, use that 1-800 number, give Dun Bradstreet a call. Again, their customer service team is really, really good. That will be all for this video. Again, I appreciate you guys watching so much, and you have a wonderful day.